Hey guys, welcome back. Willie Creeman here giving you more NFL coverage. Today we're covering the Bengals. Last year they finished fourth in the division, finished with a record of 9-8. They almost snuck into the playoffs. But in this division, you could see like the top three teams all had more than 10 wins. It was going to be really tough for them to do that. But they were just never able to really catch their stride last year. Burrow goes down in the first week of the preseason with a calf injury. And they were never able to get going after that. Even when it looked like they were catching their wind, it just never happened. I know a lot of fantasy owners were disappointed in him and Chase's performance, but that's kind of the way it goes when this team starts to struggle. So, some of the things that we're looking at, obviously the end of the year, when Burrow went down in week 11, Jake Browning comes in. They finish the season 4-3, which isn't a bad thing to be able to ride that in, but the same storylines are going to be present this year that were there last year. It's can you keep Burrow protected, and can you guys get the plays on defense that you need? And that's really what they tried to go after this offseason. So T. Higgins ends up getting tagged. He's not happy with that. Says he wants to be traded. Then he kind of rescinds that and says, hey, listen, I'm going to be here this year, but you kind of get the idea and the impression that he's going to be looking at the free agency market next year. I'm hoping they can work things out and try to mend those fences, but that's going to remain to be seen. So they add Trent Brown through free agency, which is big-bodied guy, played up in New England, went to Vegas, went back to New England, but he should be a good addition to this team. And then, they lose Joe Mixon to Houston, but they bring in Zach Moss, who had a pretty good season while Jonathan Taylor was kind of limping through the season last year. So Zach Moss, I think, should be a good hard-nosed runner for this team and be able to really run well behind these lines. The other thing I was going to mention is they could use some more help on defense, and I think that's kind of what they went after in terms of one of their free agency additions, right? My favorite one they brought in, Sheldon Rankins from Houston. I think that's going to be a big addition for them. He's a trendsetter in the trenches, really a vocal leader on defense, and I think really is going to help this defense grow and take a big step forward. The big free agency addition that I didn't care for was Mike Gesicki, and not because I don't like the player, but just I really feel like he's single-faceted, right? Like it just doesn't bring that much in terms of being a dynamic playmaker. Yeah, he may score you a few touchdowns and stuff. His gritty is awful, but he's a terrible blocker too, right? And that's the big piece of it is I just wish they could have gone elsewhere in terms of finding a player like that. But you look at what they did in the draft, right? Protection for Burrow was at the forefront of their mind. They go out and get Amarius Mims, who I really think is a top 5 talent out of Georgia. Didn't give up a sack in all of college, which was incredible. 6'8", 340. I mean, the guy's an absolute stud. It's just going to be, can he stay healthy? And if he's able to, that's going to be a big piece for them to be able to add. Then they go on the second round, right? They draft Chris Jenkins, which I think is great. He's got the NFL pedigree with his father, right? But I really think he's going to blossom into a great pro in the NFL and really going to be a big part of this defense, especially learning from guys like Sheldon Rankins. I think he's going to really blossom. So then they move forward. They get Jermaine Burton in the third round, which I really liked out of Alabama because with the situation going on with T. Higgins, if they're not able to bring him back, you need a guy that's going to be a solid number 2 or could possibly be a potential number 1 to put alongside Jamar Chase to draw some of that coverage off of him. However, if you do fix things with Higgins, then you don't got to worry about it. You got a guy like Burton that's going to be an incredible third receiver in this offense and give Burrow another playmaker to be able to throw the ball to. Anyhow, we'll be back with some more teams. Catch ya.